And Thabo and Gillian join us now live in the studio to talk about their double summit and the sanitary pad campaign and their bravery, of course. Gillian and Thabo, thank you very much indeed for your time. Tell us firstly, why do it again?
Why not do it again, you know? As I always tell people, the newsroom management looked at all the journalists and they thought that because of the time constraints, that we were, you know, there wasn't much time left, that we were the best people to again represent the SABC. But also, you know, to tell those stories again about the plight and to find different ways to tell this very, very burdened story of the African girl child who has to stay away from school for so many days because of not being able to afford sanitary pads.
Thabo, it's a worthy cause, isn't it? Tell us a bit why you got involved.
Firstly, I feel very honored that I represent SABC on this worthy cause of going to, up Kilimanjaro. For me, as a man, and seeing what a South African and African women are going through every day is actually nothing compared to the inconvenience that I'm going to feel or put myself up going Kilimanjaro. Yeah,
yes. You mentioned, as a man, and there's this perception that men are not supposed to talk about menstrual cycles and stuff like that. But, I mean, we need to disprove this, isn't it?
We have to. Gone are the days where, as a man, you're not supposed to be seen holding sanitary pads or buying sanitary pads for your daughter, your mother, or whoever. We really have to show that kind of support to our ladies. And then, for you as a man, I take it that you really have to be in a certain space of accepting and loving yourself so that you can see the other person not actually as your better half, but as a whole of humanity.
Gillian, how do you train for something like this? I mean, you not only going to be taking this challenge and climbing this mountain, but you're also going to be reporting as well, isn't it?
Well, this time around, Blaine, we're looking at doing a double summit, and I know people are they're not sure what a double summit is. So what we're intending to do is this year, because it's the Mandela centenary year, we thought of pushing the limits. We want to go up with the team, descend, and if we are able to, a few hours thereafter go up again. It's a lot of hard work, what drives Thabo and I, while other climbers are thinking about sore feet, nausea, vomiting, hallucinations, we are thinking about the deadlines on the day. That's the only thing that we do every morning when we wake up. Hope and pray that we can get our story through to headquarters. And that is basically our focus point all the time.
So, Thabo, it's not only physically demanding, but there's a mental strain as well, isn't it?
It is. People always ask me how it is to go, my experience last year going up Kilimanjaro. I always tell them like three things. It's very challenging, it's painful, but very achievable. I'll be lying as in like, you have to dig deep, your physical strength. There is a point where it just like let go. You just have to dig deep in your mental strength, and you have to remember the why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And at that time, it's not about you. It's about that young girl who can't go to school. Then it pushes you.
Because it is risky, isn't it? There have been some fatalities on this mountain, isn't it?
It is risky. For me, I think the number one enemy is flu. But fortunately, we do have a doctor, and then we talk among each other, we advise each other, and we really take precautions and of like what is it that you can do and what is it that you cannot do.
We know this industry is exacting, isn't it? And there's this accident demands every day. There's needs that we need to do in terms of how do you train for this now, building up and handling journalism at the same time?
This past few weeks have been quite rough on Thabo and I. We have to do daily deadlines, and then we've actually put quite a bit of pressure on ourselves because we're wanting to do rolling coverage from next week Monday, running like preview stories up until from the time that we leave until we arrive in Arusha, the foothills of Kilimanjaro. But it's been very difficult to get in that training because we've also set this massive challenge for ourselves, the whole double summit, having to find alternative measures to train using an elevation mask, to build up our lung capacity. So it's been very, very, very taxing and very strenuous, having to also do the day-to-day reporting.
How's your family reacted?
Fortunately, and I think Thabo as well, we've got families who don't verbalize their fears. They're very, very supportive. Obviously, you know, when people hear you're going for a third or a second time, and looking at the fatalities that you're talking about, the natural knee-jerk reaction is to be like, don't do it again. But when we do explain to people our thinking behind the campaign that we're pursuing this year, wanting companies to buy into our steps and give us pads in return so that more girls can benefit, then there's some sort of logic, you know, looking at the pressure we're putting ourselves under.
Yeah. How are you marketing this via social media?
We're asking celebrities, you know, and ordinary people to punt the campaign, but we're also relying heavily on the SABC Foundation. You know, the SABC Foundation does such good work, hey Thabo?
Yeah.
And you can pick it up from there.
And I mean, charity begins at home. That's what I believe, that the SABC Foundation is actually supporting us. As much as we're asking people to send SMS towards our cause, we always ask people to buy sanitary pads and, you know, distribute them at different SABC offices where the foundation going to be putting boxes and all those kind of things to help us.
It's a pleasure talking to you guys, and I would say break a leg, but I don't think that's appropriate at this stage. But we're rooting for you, and all the best. You wouldn't meet, you'll be hard-pressed to find two more talented as well as professional journalists right here. Thabo Madilola as well as Gillian Pillay. Thank you very much indeed.